What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB. Once again, big shout out to my doggy, Martin Skirsis, for coming through and boosting up the coin. Fucking hell, man. You big round plumber from Donny. Listen, I'm only messing Dave, man. I want better for Dave, man. Dave was doing all the right things. Woo-de-woo-woo. He was plodding, yeah, like Canelo. I don't know what his trainers are doing. I was trying to be as positive as possible. There's a time to be critical, but a week out from the fight, there's no point being critical. It's done then. But the facts are, folks, his trainers, like most trainers, they're just stroking him off. Yeah? Ajit Caballero, now listen. Ajit Caballero was 240 in the weight. I had all the Dave Allen homosexuals. And no one was a bigger homosexual than me. Last night I was sitting there on a prayer, clicking extra buttons. I put another 50 quid on, got bumped. Luckily I got some wins. I made some moody plays outside of this fight. I would have been down about 150 large, I swear to God to you, man, right now. That's what I would have been down. I ended up getting bumped for 60 bucks, but still, I was sitting there thinking, yeah, Dave's gonna come on strong. He was doing all the right things. Oops. He don't throw his hands. But it gets to the point where you have to say he just can't do it, right? That's his thing. Don't throw enough punches. But it's frustrating because Dave Allen isn't the archetypal heavy bag. The archetypal heavy bag is someone who, hands on their head, like a journeyman level. A journeyman heavy bag will stand there like this and then go around the edge of the ring. Dave's doing the hard part, which is frustrating. Dave here, he's getting to the ropes. He's getting to that premium real estate. There's nothing that comes after that. Dave's either getting hit on the way in or he's smothering his work. He's trying to do these little tappy shots on the inside. There's no pop, big right hand, big right hook on the end, like Canelo does. Canelo will get you to the ropes, take some shots coming in, pop, ring the hook over, short. Yeah? Or pop, dip, and bosh the left hook. Pop, bosh. Dave, who plod there, take a bunch of shots, which isn't really the issue. He's taking the shots anyway. It's not like he's scared to get hit. It's that final trigger pull. And Dave elects to kind of fall in and end up in a moody clinch and then slap some. Them shots don't do nothing. A waste of time. I've been saying this. No point. Don't bother throwing any shots like that when it's all smothered. That intermediate, close to medium range is where Dave needs to do something. Because he ain't doing nothing at long range. There was no jab. I didn't necessarily expect a jab. Makhmudov's tall and he's awkward and he'll lean, and I'm not sure Dave's jab would have been effective, but Canelo's jab can be effective, but for the most part, he's trying to just get it out there, to bring his feet in, to bosh the backhand, to bosh a big hook on the end. We know Dave can hook. If I had Dave in a training camp, that's all we're doing. Yeah? Pop, quick approach, right hook, sorry. Pop, dip, left hook. Every time. Because he does the hard part. He's taking the shots. He's getting you to the ropes. And then it's like, ugh. There's no follow through. It's frustrating to watch. But, like I said, it gets to the point where we have to sit here and say, that's his level. His level's like, he's almost there. He's just got no volume at all. And Canelo isn't the biggest volume fighter. But how Canelo got away with it was, Canelo is not like Caballero, where he's just going to touch you and chop you half to death with 60, 70 punches around. Canelo, most of the time, he throws less punches than his opponent, right? But the ones that count, the ones that look good, pop, even if it don't land on your head, even if it hits you on your arm, when you see someone pop and then you see a short hook come in, it's like, ooh, it starts turning cats on. And there was a few times when Dave's hands were going, he looked good. It wasn't the most concise work, and that is what Canelo does well. It's concise. He's plodding, pop, whap. And look, Canelo's not active. He needs 30 seconds to recover, but 4, 5, 6 times in a round, you'll see him explode, pop, bosh, and that's enough to win a round. Dave is doing all the plodding, and then there's nothing really to speak about. And the few times he does let his hands go, it's like a Hail Mary, and then he's puffed. Yeah? You need that explode. Cut the ring off, take some shots, explosion, reset, recover, and go again. Once every 30 to 45 seconds would have been enough. Because Makhmudov shots, most of them, no doubt Dave's admitted himself. We knew this anyway. If you go in there and get whacked by this guy, you're gonna know you got whacked. And Dave admitted it was the hardest he's been hit. We knew this already, though. That said, like Canelo, when you got your head down like that, yeah, the judges, it don't turn the judges on. When you got your head down like this, yeah, and the guy, even though Dave was getting hit, if you can, it looks like you're not really getting hit because your chin's down, your head ain't going back. Makhmudov, his hands were low. I was gagging for the left hook, but I think the issue is one of two things or a combination of both. Dave, he ain't fit. And today he's not. You can say, oh, I did this with this trainer and this with that with this trainer. He weren't fit, bottom line. He wasn't fit. There's no coincidence he came in 4 pounds lighter for the Fisher fight, of which he wasn't fit. All the kind of Dave Allen, low IQ homosexuals. Oh, no, yeah, no, it's muscle. Ridiculous, people. Sorry, ridiculous. It's not, you don't put, you're telling me he's lost 15 pounds of fat and put 15 pounds of muscle on. You don't know what you're talking about. Hate to break it to you. You've never done a sport in your life. Dave was the same amount of fitness that he's ever been. That's why he was 260. Yeah? If he was proper locked in, he shouldn't be. Caballero's got exactly the same build as Dave. It should be 240, 245. And we've seen Dave at 240, 245. That didn't mean he won every fight, but when you're carrying an extra 20 pounds, your foot approach is going to be even slower. Look at Bacoli. He took it to the extreme, but it's the same principle. You can't move, you can't get to the target. And even if you could, the energy it takes to do that double step, pop, it's knackering. You think, you puff. So Dave has to plod and then stumble in. You've got to be offering something nasty a few times around, 4 or 5 times around. Your judges have to see you, because even though you're taking shots as you're coming in, if you're taking shots as you're coming in like this here, and then you explode a few times around, that looks like the judges forget everything, forget all the fact whatever Makhmudov was doing, because they say, well, Dave's the aggressor and Dave's the one who looks like he's dangerous, he's backing Makhmudov up. But when you're just taking shots and then stumbling in and doing some moody slaps on the inside, it's like, well, you can't. Makhmudov, to his credit, he was throwing loads of shots all night. He didn't really tire like I expected him to, or like Dave expected him to. I started getting gassed after 4 because Dave said, "Oh yeah, after 4 I'm gonna start." After 4 I'm gonna start, and Makhmudov's gonna be puffed, and I thought, yeah, that makes sense. So I started getting gassed. The odds were still 1-1. I thought, yeah, I'm getting a piece of this, and I started clicking the button. I put another 50 on at that point, but I was too emotionally invested. It was clear how Makhmudov was just too comfortable. Why? It wasn't for a lack of pressure that he was too comfortable, but ultimately you can plod forward all night like that. Yeah? At some point, the plod style, the high guard, chin down style, at some point your hands have to go. You can't win a fight not throwing your hands, unfortunately. You can't win a fight plodding in and then a few moody slaps on the inside. For me, I didn't count any of them slaps. When you're chest to chest with a man, anything you can do there is not worth doing, in my opinion. There's no point wasting your breath, because it's not clean. Judges, or for me at least, I want to see someone do some clean work. Touch, and a whap anywhere would have done. It makes you look dangerous. It makes you look like you're in control. Plod into the ropes and then falling in, it's like, well, you're not in control there. You're doing half of the job. The other half is you have to throw your hands, which has been a critique of Dave Allen. His hands don't go. He needs to cut 15 pounds, 245, and all he should be doing, Dave, because he's got the rest. He's got the cut the ring off business. He could move his head a bit more, but like I said, guess what you ain't doing when you ain't got no cardio and you're overweight? You ain't moving your head. That's the first thing to go out. I've done a little bit of boxing. I'm telling you now. I'm quite cerebral in that sense. I haven't got a bunch of experience, but I recognise things. I think, oh, I don't even want to move my feet anymore because I'm puffed. Oh, I don't want to move my head anymore because I'm puffed. It's all related to puffingness. Bottom line. The first things to go are your foot explosion, backwards or forwards, and your head movement. Those will be the first things to go. And then, listen, Dave's got the high guard to a T. His guard stays strong all night, but that's only half of the story. You can't win a fight on a heavy bag defence. And that comes down to fitness, and which is a function of his weight to some extent. He should be cutting the ring off. All this pad work. You know, you see these guys on the pads. I've seen Dave doing the pads, and he's doing all these short shots, and it's simple, man. Because when it comes down to it, Dave is a high guard. He's not doing none of that. All that, you know, you see him doing all these things on the pads. You ain't doing that, man. And really, what fighters do? Very special fighters. Yeah? They do all the moody. Forget that. Dave, straight up, the same as Dubois, really. Doing all this extra shit. Chin down, hands up. Pop, pop, whap. Yeah? Pop, pop, whap. Every time. Simple as that. Maybe you can mix it up. Maybe a single jab and a right and a hook. Or a jab and a dip on a left hook. And it's out, oh, maybe you're not in there. And Dave said, oh, well, I've critiqued fighters for not throwing their hands before, and it's just not as simple as that. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's obviously easier. It's more conservative. It's safety first, not to throw your hands. But at the end of the day, you're getting hit. What I don't get is he's getting hit anyway. He was getting popped anyway. And I'd argue, and it's obvious, you'll never turn someone off from hitting you. Bottom line, as hard as it may be to take, as difficult as it may be to appreciate or as to recognise, but no one's getting turned off when you're not throwing punches. Yeah, I'm not saying it's the best defence, but offence is part of your defence. No big stiff Neanderthalian idiot is going to think, oh, I think I'll stop punching Dave right in his bonce because he's got his hands up. No. Heavy bag session. How you stop their man, or how you stop anyone punching you, unless they're really special, someone like Boots or whoever, then you can punch back with them and your ass is grass because they're that good. But stiff idiots like Makhmudov, yeah, the prehistoric Neanderthalian, the last of the Neanderthalians, Caballero showed this, and he's an extreme example. He's doing 60, 70 punches around, but it works. Throwing nothing ain't going to turn him off, bottom line, right? Dave could have thrown 30 punches around with good intentions behind him. And that would have done more. I haven't even looked at the compy box, to be fair. We'll check it out. But that would have got Makhmudov thinking more. Thinking twice about throwing. But when you're literally just plodding, inevitably you're going to take more. Now the risk is, and the little bit of boxing I've done, I can appreciate what Dave's doing. Because you almost get put in your box. You think, oh, I'm getting hit with my guard up. If I move my hands from this position, I might get hit clean. So you then don't throw your hands, but it's one of them paradoxical ones. In fact, if you're getting hit anyway, you've got to, no one's saying you need to go in there and just go left and right, like he did at times, but you've got to, in my opinion, in a structured way, commit to offence. Like I said with the drills, I'd have Dave like this, yeah, plodding onto someone, pop, pop, every time, pop, pop, yeah? Pop, pop. You see that one there? Just get him in the habit. That's all we're doing. Pop, pop, and a bang on the end. Yeah? Straight up and down. I'm coming onto you. I'm doing your serious arm. Structured. All this kind of... Dave will be on the pads. He'll be like... doing all this shit. You ain't going to do that I've never seen Dave do that in the fight. You have to know the fight you deal with. There's no point doing all these freaky-deaky pads, man. Just forget about it. Yeah? Suck them elbows in, get your head down, pop, pop, and ding someone on the end. Every single round. That's what we're doing. Dave, I want you to do 6, 7 explosions per round. You're going to cut the ring off, pop, pop, bang. You're going to reset. I don't mind Dave falling in after he's got his clean mid to intermediate range off. If you go pop, pop, whap, and then what you want to make it messy, whatever. You can't get there and then it's all messy and all no good. He was doing it with Fisher. That was my criticism after the first fight. It's that you get in there and heavy bag. It's heavy bag-esque, and he's got half of it. You've got to let your hands go, but that is cardio training. Like I said, in terms of the strategies you're practicing in training. Like, people practice all these different combinations, man. Realistically, all you need to be able to do is a pop-pop and a whap on the end. That's all you need to be able to do. That's all Canelo's done, really. And Canelo is relatively special, but for someone straight up and down, even look at Beterbiev. What real special things do you do? Beterbiev likes to be here. He'll pour with his jab, and then he's bapping someone on the end. Really? What? Okay, Beterbiev, he might do a step back and a right hand. You don't really need that, though. Right? Assume Dave can't do that. What Dave definitely can do is double his jab up, touch his jab and put some on the end. Keep him busy with the jab and put some on the end. whatever, in any variation of that, jab, uppercut, jab, left hook, jab, right hook, jab, dip. You know what I'm saying? Just simple, man. Simple. And for the second half of Canelo's career, that's all he really did. Plod, touch, and a whap. It worked for him. And I think, obviously, Dave's not the level of Canelo, but in that respect, how Canelo's fought in the second half of his career, it's been successful at the highest level. And that's all it's really been. He kind of dropped the head movement anyway. He's got a bit of it. He'll pull out and slip that hand. Okay, whatever. Assume Dave can't do that. The offense, though, it's on a plate. You ain't got to be doing too much. And it's a shame we didn't get to see that executed. Is it a case of Dave can't perform under the light? I just think, like most people look at Dubois, I think they overcomplicate things, man. I think they overcomplicate it, to be fair. I think these trainers, they want to... And I get it, if you've got a really special fighter like Boots Ennis or whatever, then... But they kind of get it, they're kind of working out their own shit, right? But when you got straight up and down stiff idiots from Doncaster, who's got a good guard, he's got good defence, simple offensive routines, super simple, like an NFL play, we're doing this. And I reckon someone like Dave could buy into that. He could commit to, once you get Dave in the habit of, once I get him near the rope, and you know as a fighter when you're ready to approach, once I get him there, I think like Dave overthinks it. He thinks, and I get it, obviously, it's not as simple as what I'm saying, because you have an opponent in front of you who you're expecting to react, but that second guessing yourself can be remedied to some extent if you're executing a routine you've done a million times in camp. You'll think about it less. Now, if you're doing all these moody pads and you haven't got... I think people should have super simple strategies. I'm getting them to the ropes and I'm pop banging. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah? So you almost take out the thinking part. I'd tell Dave, listen Dave, once you get there, you let that go. That's what you do. And if you get knocked out letting that go, then okay. Right? Okay. You got caught trying to win. Because at the moment, Dave, he getting caught and he ain't really winning. I'd rather see Dave get there, pop, whap, and get caught in between and okay, he's knocked out. Well, you got knocked out with a winning strategy. Right? Rather than losing on points every time. Because in this current form, Dave's going to lose every time. By not throwing his hands and not committing to no structured offense, you're going to lose every time at this level, clearly. Because you can't win a fight without throwing your hands. The whole way through, or certainly after a few rounds, I thought, come on Dave, man. It can't be fall in and or Dave swinging for the ashes, bowling for the ashes, left, right, it's too much. With that middle ground, concise, repetitive, consistent offense throughout every round. I don't want to see you go left and right and lose your head or bug out essentially and just have a go. There's a time for having a go. You ain't even Makhmudov weren't even softened up when Dave started thrashing in round 9 because you ain't really put no work in like that. Thrashing time is when you got him, you know what I mean, you got his number. You see him fading, you've been touching him. And even then, look at someone like Caballero. He never had to get to the thrashing. Because Caballero is a good example of this. Much like Canelo, it's a consistency. Now, Caballero's a bit different. His is more complex. Caballero's more of a complex pressure fighter than Canelo. Canelo's a lazy pressure fighter. That's why I prefer to use that example rather than Caballero. Caballero has supreme output. But all the difference is really is confidence. Caballero ain't doing nothing that special compared to Dave, what Dave could do. Right? Caballero comes in with supreme confidence, heads down, touch. He'll do crazy things like touch. He's just pushing them out kind of thing. Right? But it's the structure. Caballero plods in, he starts touching you, he resets, he plods in, he starts touching you, he resets. Consistent offense. And in my opinion, you can only build that from the basics. Clearly, Caballero's got the feel for pressure fighting now. Does that make sense? He can find little shots, but when you're starting out, I think Dave more or less offensively, he is kind of starting out in that respect. Keep it simple, man. Where was Dave's jab? I didn't ever see him put it out to set something up. I didn't really see him jab at all. In fact, let's have a quick look at the CompuBox number. I didn't see him throw no jabs. And I'm not saying he needed to throw them to land them, but that jab is going to set for you. Come on. Unless your name is Mike Tyson, and even he had a bit of a jab. But unless your name's Mike Tyson would slip, and he's on you on the ropes, and then he's throwing inside shots. Dave wasn't even doing that, right? So unless you're going to be that guy, and Mike's had supreme head movement coming in, and he had a bit of a jab, and he had the foot speed to get the bum rusher to the ropes, and then he's opening up on the inside, cutting angles, slipping, sliding, and hitting you all over with the short hooks and uppercuts. Dave ain't going to be doing that. So if you've got slow feet, you've got to get them feet in, and that normally the distraction method tends to be the jab. I don't remember him. I think he maybe threw one or two. And when Dave does throw a jab, and listen, it's easy for me to say, but when Dave does throw a jab, he don't throw it with confidence. He throws it as a main shot. He throws it as, that's my punch for this. He throws it ready for pure defense. So it's a confidence issue. He doesn't throw it, I'm coming at you now. He throws it out there, trying to score with it, and then he's looking to defense. It's a confidence thing. He's thinking about what's coming back, and I get it, but a lot of it is confidence. After Canelo fought Triple G, that's what changed his thing. When he realised he could take a good shot from the best in that first fight with Triple G, he then started standing with Triple G. Caballero recently, he's grown into that role as a supreme pressure fighter. It doesn't mean he doesn't get hit. Zhang clipped him. He gets hit. But it's that stoicism. Even when he's been hit, he's still on his job. Dave is almost shell-shocked into not throwing his hands. Doesn't believe in himself. And that's what Dave needs to almost switch his brain off, like I said, and just repeat the process he's done in training. Pop, I don't care what happens. Easy for me to say, but that is what if Dave wants to level up, he has to do this. He has to switch off that mindset, because he's got a good chin. And I think he'd find he'd get hit less. Part of the reason he gets hit so much by David Price or Makhmudov is because nothing's coming back. You can't turn off top level fighters just with heavy bag pressure. Someone like Fisher, it kind of worked, but at this next level, they'll just touch you all night. Why not? You're not doing nothing back. I'll touch you here, I'll touch you there, I'll step off with Dave Price, I'll touch you a bit, I'll move you around, I'll play with you. You have to have some offense there to keep them honest. And Dave has to have that mindset of I'm putting this out there. Simple combination. Mid to short range. Pop, whap. Just commit. And once Dave does it a few times, I think Dave should fight some bums now. Decent bums. But bums he can feel comfortable with who can't necessarily punch hard. But it's no good Dave going in there, and doing what he's always done against bums. Dave needs to go in there with a whole new strategy, right? He needs to go in there executing what I've talked about against bums. I'm pressuring, I've got you to the ropes, pop, whap. Get him in the habit of implementing repeatable offense. Because Dave's got no problem chasing a bum around and then doing all the messy shit he normally does, and it kind of works. That don't scale, though. It don't scale to the top level. What I'm saying would scale. What do you know, YB? I know. Trust me, I'm telling you now. Yeah, he'll be doing better than he does now, or at least he'll be in a chance of winning a fight. How about that? He's not in a chance of winning these fights, man. He's not in the mix with them, unfortunately. Dave Allen versus Makhmudov. And people say, Dave said, I'm not good enough. No, well, yeah, he's not. Objectively, in this current state, he's not. But we said it before the fight. The outline's there. Pulling the trigger in a concise and repeatable way. That's what Dave's never really had. He's got the whole heavy bag routine down to a T. Can I find the CompuBox? He hasn't got the offense. Okay. Here we go. Where are we then? How many jabs did... So Dave threw... Well, apparently he was throwing jabs, allegedly. Apparently he was averaging around 10 jabs a round. But then again, Makhmudov was throwing 40 around on average. How many punches? What's how many Dave's throwing? 15 in the first round, 21, 35, 29, 30, 23, 23, 30. It's just not enough. And to be quite frank, actually, that's not necessarily true. I'm reading here, even that though, 23 isn't enough, but what we have to account, or what we have to take into account here, you might say, oh, well, YB, he threw 30 punches. What's the average? His average punches were about 30 a round. Oh, YB, he threw 30 punches a round. What we mentioned earlier, though, was, think about it. When was Dave mostly throwing his hands? Yeah? They count. When Dave's in the clinch and you see him slapping away, those are the punches they're counting. This ain't 30 proper punches per round. This is like, Dave probably was throwing 20, 25 out of 30 of these counted punches in them scrappy chest-to-chest situations. No good. Can't score them, in my opinion. Good for nothing. You can't get no leverage on them. It looks messy. It's not hurting no one. I've never seen any of them shots hurt no one with Dave Allen. Sorry, never seen it. Waste of time. Waste of time, in my opinion. Waste of energy. So when you think about that, at least half of all of these punches were thrown in that messy situation. So in reality, Dave's actually throwing 15 punches around that were honest punches. And I'm sceptical of that. I never really saw him throw his hands outside of them situations, really, to tell the truth. So there's an issue here with his tactics, in my opinion. His offensive tactics are off. And naturally, if you've grown up as a boxer and you build these habits, and that's always been, they build these habits, and habits die hard, and without a structured regime of what you're going to implement, break it down to its basics, like I've explained, and rebuild from there. Unless you're going to do that, it's going to be more of the same with Dave, unfortunately. Listen, he'll beat a lot of people at the lower levels. But there's potential for him to do more, from what I've seen. Now, Makhmudov, fair play to him. I thought he was going to start puffing, to tell the truth. I was convinced. That's why I put more bread on. This guy's finished, man. He's going to be puffing. But I just thought by osmosis. I saw him against Takam. I saw him against Caballero. I thought by osmosis, he's never done 12 before. Naturally, he'll just be knackered, but he was so comfortable. Dave hit him with a few good clean shots, but it was not enough. It was like maybe 1 or 2 rounds. He won no more than 3 rounds did Dave land any clean shots. And when he did land them, it was like 1 or 2. You need to be landing 2 or 3 every round from the start of the first, at least, right? Clean. For that to build up. If someone's got 4 rounds to recover between the next time you hit him again, it's almost good for nothing. And that's why you saw Makhmudov so strong, and he looked like he was really going for a stroll. And if I wasn't emotionally invested, I should have really, at one point, I think after 5 rounds, Makhmudov was 6-1 on points, and I saw it. But I was so sexualized by Dave Allen. I was so like, no, he's going to do it. I lost my rationality. Because if I'd have been rational, I'd have clocked on that, yeah, Dave is doing what he's always done. Getting there, falling in, and not a lot really. But the crowd didn't help. Every time he did something, they cheered, and it kind of blurs your head. Now, as far as the fight's concerned, and how the result went, I would have told the truth when I came on here today. But I was thinking, because there was 2 points taken off, weren't there? No one's really talked about it. There was 1 point for Makhmudov using his elbow, and another point, I think, for Makhmudov pulling, either it was for clinching or for Makhmudov pulling Dave's neck down, I'm not sure, but one was in the 12th round. It was quite like, whoa, that's crazy. So the ref definitely got a moody check from Eggy Hearns, allegedly. But I thought with them 2 extra points, it might have been enough. Let me have a look at the scorecards. I couldn't hear it. Allen versus Makhmudov. Judges score. Oh my god. I thought maybe with Moody judges, Moody referee, 2 points off. I thought, yeah, you might be in a shout here. Plus, there's robberies happen all the time. That's what I was hoping for as well. I thought, there's no way Eggy's going to let Makhmudov win this at home. But yeah, look at these scorecards. I think some of the judges didn't even take the point off because these scorecards are wild. So even with 2 points taken off, one judge had it 117, 109. That means Makhmudov won 11 rounds. So yeah, maybe that is the case. He did. Yeah, I can see how he won 11 rounds. To be fair, he was just too active. Not enough was consistently coming back. But I did maybe think. I thought, yeah, them 2 points have come off. Eggy's got the judges as well. Because in that 12th round, the referee felt... Listen, I hate clinching. It should be banned full stop. I think fighters should be given maybe 1 clinch per round should be the rule. After that, a point comes off every time you do it. A clinch should be like a tennis umpire's call. It's an emergency option. Yeah? I'm in trouble, I need to clinch. It shouldn't be a go-to. It shouldn't be oh, I'm big and I'm stiff. Pop, pop, fall in, clinch, which is what Makhmudov was doing. But Dave often was happy to fall into the clinch. That is his MO. He doesn't mind being there. He prefers being in that messy situation where he perceives he can do some messy work. But I never liked it. But that is Dave's MO. He wasn't really complaining about it as such. But ban the clinch full stop for me. Ban it or 1 per round each should be the rule. Anywho, I thought that was quite funny. But yeah, Makhmudov, we wrote him off. And you can't argue with me. Clearly won the fight. It would have been a robbery. Whilst I would have listen, ain't gonna lie to you, man. Yeah, I would have took the bread for damn sure. Listen. If Eggy Hearns had a pattern the Moody robbery, I'd have took the bread. The Lord knows I'd have took the bread. And I'll be telling you, I took the bread as well. You best believe it. No doubt about that one. That bread would be gone. Yeah. No diggity, no doubt about that one. 100%. But listen, I would have come on here and told you it was robbery. Yeah, it would have been. But there's been robberies before. I'm thinking, come on, if you're going to rob someone, set up the AJ fight with Dave Allen. But listen. Even if Dave Allen had got the robbery win, AJ would do a Dave Allen harm in this form. Because listen, whatever you say about AJ, he can box. Look at AJ versus Ruiz too. He can box, and he'd just ping Dave would never get close. He'd get his head pinged off. And you'd be looking like this, because listen, AJ can box. And he can hit like a mule if you're there in front of him with slow feet and no gas. It would have been like you know how when AJ fought Journeyman back in his first 15 fights or whatever, that's what it would look like. You'd be wincing at the screen at what AJ would do to this Dave Allen. Because Makhmudov was doing it. Makhmudov ain't as good as boxer as AJ. No way. And he don't hit as hard either, punch for punch, in my opinion. So it would have been really ugly for Dave in this current form, and he'd had no chance outside of a lucky punch. But he couldn't. Makhmudov was there for the lucky punch as well. Makhmudov's even leakier than AJ, to be fair. Even worse footwork. Makhmudov, his right hand's down here by his chest. But Dave said that he felt the power, and that's the problem. The little bit of boxing I've done, when you felt the power from someone, and you're like this, yeah, what you end up doing is, rather than focusing on your offensive opportunities, I've had it myself, yeah? I'm boxing someone and I've felt the power, right? I'm like this. And where you notice your eyesight's going, your eyesight isn't looking at the fact that, oh, this plumber's right hand's by his chest. His head's wide open. All you start thinking is, you start getting like Darren Till eyes. Your eyes start going down a straw and all you can see is that right hand. You start looking at it like this. You start going cross-eyed, like looking at the right hand, waiting for it to come at you because you felt the power. Rather than seeing it, it changes the whole perspective. Normally, if you're relaxed, if you're in control, you see someone like this, big stiff Nathaniel idiot, and you think, oh, he's wide open. Put a bit of power on that, and this guy who's wide open, you're focused on his right hand thinking, when's it coming? And that's what Dave had become hyper-focused and put in his box, waiting for the right hand, and it was coming. That's the thing about it. You have to fight back. Because it was pinging it anyway. He was pinging it off anyway from his chest. And it sounds easy, but come on. It sounds cliche, but catch and counter, man. Again, I'm not a professional boxer. What do I know? But if a man's like this, Makhmudov, his defence is stiff. Yeah, if he's picking his right hand from his chest, you got to tuck up and just instinctively slash. What am I looking for here? Dave needs to be trained in these scenarios, right? The minute you feel that right hand, and again, what do I know? Fuck all. That's fair enough to say, right? But the minute you feel these basic fighters, these straight up and down fighters with their head chins down and their hands up, every time you feel that right hand come, you just got to instinctively let left hook off, for example. These are little things you can actually train, I believe. Forget about the consequence of it. Chin down, hands up, I'm letting it off when I feel it. That could have been something they implemented, knowing Makhmudov's leaky. Right? So over time, you should be able to train your mind out of hyper-focusing on the right hand coming. When I feel it come, I'm letting my left hook off. And let the chips, what's that saying? Let the chips roll where they may. Because so far, Dave Allen's like a top-level journeyman as such. He'll be a heavy bag for you. And the only way someone don't become a heavy bag is when they let the hands go. Look at Adelele, he's another one. Adelele is an athletic version of Dave Allen. Right? Same thing. When his hands are going, he looks good. Adelele does. But these cats, they're like, you Adam Boo. Adam Boo's probably teaching him some hippie shit and doing a bunch of madness. Scrap all that, man. Yeah? If you're like this, pop, and spunk it on the end with bad intentions. I'm coming right at you. Full commitment. Yeah? Because otherwise, you just start standing there, getting Hrgovic versus Adelele, getting his head pinged off. You're getting your head pinged off anyway, man. You might as well let him hold something every 45 or 30 seconds. Just literally that. Just be a heavy bag, yeah? And every 30 seconds, I'm coming at you, pop. At least try that, right? If you do nothing else, you're committing to exploding, pause, every 30 seconds. Just try that at least, Dave. No? Probably not. He'll do what he's doing. He's got his little team and they're doing what they're doing, blowing smoke up. I'd have Dave 245, simple as that. I'd have him on the Monjaro. Yeah, he'd be on a cycle of Monjaro. He'd be 245. 240. I'd have him 240 in there, man. Bone dry, 240. Warthog. Speed. Cardio in your legs, faster legs. That's what I'd have him doing. Because this ain't no good, man. This ain't no good. And it makes you take more. Dave said, I took the shots low, I took too many shots. And his forward pressure was good. Dave didn't back up Johnny Fisher like this in the first fight. From the jump, Dave's pressure was there. It was that next step. And I believe for that next step, you need that cardio. You need that minus 20 pounds of weight. You need that. That'll be the difference between your legs being goosed after 6 rounds or not, in my opinion. 10 kilo of dead weight, it's not nothing to be played with. It's a lot of weight over a 40-minute event. Or 36-minute, or it's 48-minute event, isn't it? It's a long way to go. That kind of... Try it yourself. Pick a dumbbell up. Pick a 10-kilo dumbbell up and imagine jumping around with that. you won't be jumping around with it for long, that's for damn sure. Okay. What else do I want to show the masses? I think that's more or less it, but I was supposed to play a bunch of videos, but we'll be here all day otherwise. I'll play this one right quick.
In the world, let alone in our country. But he's got to improve a little bit more. Still, what I want to see Dave do now is have a good rest. Go back to the gym. You know what I mean? Don't balloon up and start sitting on the couch eating shit. Let's go back to the gym. Let's keep improving. Because he can be better than that.
He said 12 months left. He said he wants to retire.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for me as well. But we say this every camp. Yeah, Dave's already saying now. I think he's already mentioned retirement. So, I mean, that is... Listen, he's finished as such. But if he was... He's quite young though. Listen, he needs to pull his finger at his arse. There's too many bootlickers around him. Yeah, I don't know his trainers, but they're bootlickers, man. I tell him straight up, he's not good enough, man. There's a lot of these fairy type cats these days want to lick your arse. I tell you straight up. Who am I to tell him? No one, but I want the best for him. Yeah, this kind of new age parenting. If it's not good enough, it's not good enough, man. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. If it's no good, it's no good. And I'd apply that to myself as well, right? But the difference between me and Dave is I ain't got no opportunities like that to get on. Yeah? That's why I don't give a like that. I'm not busting my ass for some moody minimum wage shekels, man. That's no good for me. But if I had a big opportunity, you best believe I'm hitting it hard, man. Right? If I had a big multi-million-dollar opportunity, you have to hit it hard. You ain't got time to sit around eating biscuits, man. Right? Oh, he had the best camp ever. He couldn't have had the best camp ever. He's 260. He's 3 pounds heavier than 2 camps ago. And that camp, he said he was too heavy. Fact. Dave said after Fisher won, I'm too heavy at 257. He's put 3 pound on. So it couldn't have been the best camp. That's the truth. It's not personal. Yeah? You're the same size as Caballero, who's 240. Bottom line, man. I don't want to hear about genetics. If you cut your calories, it will fall off. If you don't have a... Dave said now, yeah, in the new year, I'll have Christmas with the kids. And that's great if you're retired. Christmas with the kids. What was Usyk doing? Oops. Busted. You know what I mean? See that one there? He'd done it all as well. Usyk's done it all about 4 times. Right? He ain't worried about Christmas with the kids. Never mind Dave Allen, who should be red hot. There'll be plenty of Christmas with the kids. And I'm being extreme here. No one's saying he can't pop in for a week around Christmas. Right? No one's saying that. But in the meantime, Dave was implying, we'll have a conversation in January. So you're going to be just hanging around for 2 months now, bulking up again. Well done. Yeah? Well done then. That's what he'll do anyway, because he can't help himself. But it's like, really? You can't find... If Usyk can motivate himself, Usyk had 2 camps and didn't go home once to a newborn baby. And he's already done it. He's already got hundreds of millions at that point. You're telling me you can't lock in? Like Eddie Hearn said. Because all that will happen is Dave will go up to 290 and then it's all the same situation. And cardio is built. Cardio is a religion. Yeah? If you think you can have 2 months off and get fit in 8 to 12 weeks, you don't know what you're talking about at all. Sorry, you do not know what you're talking about. Top athletes, they train year round. Yeah? I think I said it before, but Michael Phelps before, I was a swimmer, yeah? But Michael Phelps and I know this because I was doing it as a swimmer as well, not to his level, but the training wise, we would train year round. I'm talking 2 days off for Christmas, Boxing Day and Christmas Day. Those were the days off. In fact, no, we didn't train Christmas morning, but Christmas Eve we trained. Yeah? I'm telling you now, for nothing. I was getting paid nothing. We would train year round. And we'd train Christmas Eve, we'd train the 27th, we'd have 2 days off. Christmas Day and Boxing Day we'd have off, and maybe New Year's Day. Yeah? And then after that whole year, we'd have a week off, week or 2 off at summer, at the end of the season. And then you're back at it. Swear to God, I ain't even lying to you, man. And that was for nothing. That was for the game we was in. That's how fit you had to be. Yeah? Training 10 times a week in the pool. Like 2 or 3 early mornings before school. Get up at 4:30, train from 5:15 to 7:15, go to school, and then do it again at night. 10 sessions a week. Swear to God right now. For nothing. You're telling me your big round ass can't get in the gym for millions of dollars? Or hundreds of thousands? What planet are you? I don't want to hear... Sorry, I don't want to hear... It's insulting, honestly. It's insulting. Oh, you're bitter because you ain't got no bread. I'm just saying, every swimmer's doing that. For nothing. And I'm not an expert in other sports, but I can tell you what I did. For damn sure. That's what I can tell you. Yeah? So don't tell me you need 2 months off now. For what? For 2 months to do what, man? Okay, your head might be sore. Alright, take a few days off for your sore head. And when it's not sore, you get back at it, man. No one's saying you need to go out have hard spars a week later. Right? But you can stay on it. And build momentum. That's why Michael Phelps allegedly did 8 seasons, so 8 years, with essentially no days off. Obviously, I think he had Sunday off every week, but you get the point I'm making. No extra days off. He'd be training Monday through Saturday every week for 8 years. Yeah? That is the peak of cardiovascular condition. Is it extreme? Yes. But still, these boxing man, they rock up. They think you can't get fit in 8 to 12. I'm sorry, you can't do it, man. Look at Floyd Mayweather. You never saw Floyd puffing, Why did you never see Floyd puffing? Year round. Crawford. Year round. Never see him puffing. Really. Year round. It's a religion. It's a lifestyle. It's not a... These man. Oh yeah, well I've done my fight now, so now I'll go to Shagaluf and chill out for 8 weeks. Or wherever they are. They're not locked in. If you can't... Whatever you're doing in your life as a professional athlete, if you can't find an hour or 2 per day to train, 6 days a week in your off season, you ain't serious. Sorry, you ain't serious, man. Bottom line. And you'll never achieve what you possibly could do. Bottom line, there's no doubt about it. I don't care what hippie science they've got now. Well, actually, you know, it's good if you have 8 weeks off after you fight, because no, cap. You're losing all the gains you made in 12 weeks. And even after 12 weeks, I'm not even sure how fit you can be after having 2 months off, to be honest. I'm not even sure how fit you are. Because you really do go back a lot. You probably maybe just get back to where you last left off. Never mind. With cardiovascular conditioning, you can expand your aerobic and anaerobic capacity. But I believe what a lot of boxers do. That's why you never really see these guys get stronger over time, which they should do. We can see this objectively in runners or swimmers. They objectively get quicker over time. In boxing, you do an 8 to 12 week camp, then you have 8 weeks off. So you're never expanding your capacity, in my opinion. That's anecdotal, but as you see it, these cats, they're out of gas. They're always out of gas, man. Oh, man, listen, it is what it is. I want the best for Dave, but I've been saying this. He can do what he wants. He's a grown-ass man, isn't he? Anyway. This video's gone on long. Maybe I'll save this one. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe. Check out this one here, man. Yeah, woo. This is your man, the YB's leaked Patreon, man. The YB roasting Andrew Tatowitz. Click this button right here, man. I might even play you, man, a clip right quick. Oh, I had to suck Musk off, so why ain't everyone else Andrew Tatestein sucking Julon Musk out, man. Sucking Julon off, man. Wait a minute. Yeah. Why is it so quiet for? Very quiet.
This needs to tweet a thank you to Elon Musk.
Yeah? It's inverted. The great inversion is here, folks.
Every single person who watches this needs to tweet a thank you to Elon Musk. Every single person. Oh, but I disagree with him on whatever. He's the most powerful person in the world. You're a nobody. Say thank you. The world has lost everything. It's lost its gratefulness. It's lost its decorum.
This guy ain't playing. This is the thing. This is what gets me, man. This guy ain't even playing. You, man, need to thank Elon Muskowitz. What's Elon Musk done, man? Yeah, he's put some fake things in space, allegedly. Good for him. Great for him. Don't give a fuck, to be fair. Anyway, if you want to see the full video, man, you click this button right here. I'm out of here. Johnny.